Aha moment, final part. What I've stumbled upon with psychological cognition and neuroscience and neuropsychology and neuropsychiatry and computational neuroscience and neurodevelopmental psychiatry and gosh knows what else I've read along the way. Too many to name, too many to count. Now has the same risk for depression as traditional psychology. The simulation video game theory with the world now not such a far-flung idea, with psychology involved in behavior and doing and thinking and thought being so controlled and restricted and especially observed. From my viewpoint, there's nowhere to go do any activity and not have to make a correction, you know? Light could have bothered someone who was watching the video, and they might have said, you know, to some psychiatric hospital, I should get checked out. The emotional negativity with psychological cognition has to do with how hard, how difficult the path forward is to go to school. I could die with this in my hands. I could die with freedom in my brain and be restricted in the world physically and mentally. Holy swear word, gosh, heck. Letters to the president, letters to the White House. Nobody responds. Not out of benefit for me, because I'm giving away everything I've learned and I've put into words and worked so hard to be able to be putting into words, studying English literature first for my undergraduate. And now I'm stuck with infinity in a world with an equation equal to a required letter, number, symbol, psi, behavior A plus thinking B minus emotion, parentheses, variable, parentheses, equals some drawing called psi in language, or any other equation. In this system of what's described as psychological medicine, there is a simulation. Not for their science alone, but for the world and government also. The government already has limits. States and government already have limits. You have police in the state, you have military in the federal level. Limits. You have the state judicial system, you have the Supreme Court. And then also you have the psychologist and their psychiatrist to give the medicine to help them with their work. So behavior is already controlled by the governments. Hormones, especially for minority communities and what they choose to do. Laws. And very, very unbreakable rules. America, Washington State, and especially Seattle. And then the social behavioral requirements of psychology and the emotions and their necessary positivity and their frowned upon negativity. Thinking in thought about only the good, only the awesome, and never, ever, ever the great. Never, ever the creepy. With that stupid, ugly, fat woman staring at me and trying to figure out what I'm doing with my body and my mind. And how she can fix what's wrong. Now. There was this TV show called The X-Files. And the world has made this problem so complicated. A person like me looks like a person looking for aliens and UFOs in a television show. Some crazy whack job, stupid idiot who's not thinking correctly. Psychology. They scan once in a while. I've been scanned. Make sure that there's nothing missing, there's nothing out of place, and voila, you're in a hospital with people yelling at walls. The whole dilemma and the whole injustice, the whole philosophy, the whole practice, the whole shebang, shaboom, shagunk, needs to be available. However, in what form? Should people get these kinds of services? Makes more sense to me than the control and the restrictions and the limitations. So easy to adhere to now with technology. A lot like Good Will Hunting. You go to the library, get some library fines and fees. Go to MIT and then you go make some math students feel stupid and dumb. You go to Amazon, you get $100 worth of books and no one ever notices the person. They hide their thinking and their thought. They don't talk unless necessary. They always have a smile. They're always cheery. They're always fuzzy and likable. And they dress nice. They wear a tie, dressed in black, and carry an umbrella to look socially and culturally relevant. I'm describing a man that I used to stay with in a shelter who slept a few beds down. He knew how to behave. He knew how to stand in a crowd and look invisible. He didn't say much. He had a teardrop on his eye. He looked like he could kill someone with his fingernails. And I'm treated similarly. I'm treated as if my Buddhist tattoos are some warrior mantra for taking the snake off the wall and having it devour an enemy. And all because I chose to care and try to help some homeless and at-risk youth at some Christian ministry with mentoring, learning neuroscience. Rather than doing what the bully says, shut up. The same words the government gives, the same language the psychologist gives with their eyes, their gesture. Their letters and their words, their instructions for their gesture to work and to modify the body and the brain, controlling them with the mind, making them and me mentally neutral. I could wake up tomorrow with no consciousness. This has so much significance going forward. People with Alzheimer's, my aunt, stopped eating. I got a plate of food in front of me and I can't even figure out how to put it in my mouth. I might behaviorally do it incorrect, and then one of the psychologists, mental health, social worker, counselor, health workers will retrain me how to feed my body and my brain. People used to say, "Don't tread on me." And now that's even been taken away. The snake would be too scary for folks. So now I'm as dumb as that stuffed animal sloth service animal that I call my service animal in a story. The end.